Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a reaction video to Dr. Pillai, famous for his Shreem Brzee money manifestation, financial success, whatever manifestation mantra. We're going to be watching a bunch of his videos from many years and just seeing what he has to say. Before I go into my background with Dr. Pillai, a few little housekeeping thoughts. For those who were expecting me to do a reaction video today on Sailor Bob Adamson, an Advaita Vedanta teacher in Australia, well, I was just about to do it when I discovered that all the clips that I had grabbed had no sound. And I'm like, oh no. So instead of just grabbing new ones and re-downloading or whatever, I already had the Dr. Pillai stuff set up because I was going to do an episode on him soon. So we're just going to switch places. So Sailor Bob will be next, and right now we'll do Dr. Pillai. Also, for any of you joining me for the first time, wondering why I do this or whatever, this was actually suggested to me by one of you out there. They said, or someone said I should do a review of Osho. And I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of got my equipment together and figured out how to do that. But I haven't done Osho yet because I have a lot of preconceived notions about him. And I kind of enjoy coming at teachers who I don't really know so much about. It's just more interesting for me. And so I started doing some stuff with some teachers I kind of knew about, and then I've done a whole handful now. We'll get to Osho someday, but I don't know, just picking and choosing and trying to do different diverse people, folks you know, some New Agers, some Hindus, people you may not know, which is one of the reasons I wanted to share Sailor Bob, because I don't think he's that famous, and I just like sharing these teachers with you. My goal here is to share teachers and to learn about them because a lot of these people I don't know anything about. I've only watched like maybe 2 or 3 talks by Dr. Pillai, matter of fact, and I've watched none by Sailor Bob. So this is a great way of discovering these teachers. And I love learning about different gurus. I've always been fascinated by gurus and I love learning about them. And so I could just sit here on this very warm day and just watch a bunch of videos on my own, or I could do it with you guys. And I'd much rather do it with all of you. Now, the other reason I do this is because I think there's a lot of bad teachers out there. I think there's a lot of teachers who really aren't enlightened spiritual beings. I think there's a lot of con men, con women, frauds, and I'm really adamant about teaching you how to defend yourself against them. So we can watch these teachers and we can learn together, or I can show you things that I'm aware of to look for, like, oh, this teacher uses a word salad. And when you dissect it and you give it 5 seconds of thought, it literally is gibberish. Is this really, what you want to be following? So I'm sort of teaching you things that you can be aware of. So that's the other goal here is this is continuing my ongoing theme of defending yourself against bad teachers. I also, within this same boat, I talk about cults on this channel. I talk about Christians trying to convert you and some of the manipulative ray comfort type techniques that they use. So this is educational. Now you may disagree with me. Many people who watch these have totally disagreed with me, and I totally expect that, and I'm fine with that. You may say I'm completely wrong. I have been wrong a few times. I did actually comment on something in a sorry, ambulance going by. I commented something on a Mother Mira video that I will confess now. It wasn't something she said, it was a question, and I've since done a little reading and learned, like, oh, okay, I saw where the person was coming from, even though I completely disagree with this. So now in hindsight, I've learned a little more, so I'm sometimes wrong. But maybe you disagree with me, but you are watching a teacher going, wow, I've never heard of this person. This person's really, really cool. And you're inspired to investigate them more. So in that case, okay, maybe you're following someone I don't recommend, like Chanda Reuter, but if you feel moved to, we all have our own spiritual journey, and sometimes going into these bad places and with darker places, or in my opinion, darker places, is actually good for us. So maybe your journey is taking you here, and you're learning about something, and it just kind of expands your world, and then you move someplace else, and hey, okay, I'm kind of all for it. I just don't want you to get stuck there. That's it. And I think some of these teachers aren't actually pushing you forward. They're holding you back, or they're sending you over here instead of over here, sort of thing. So that's actually kind of why I do this. There's lots of reasons for it. Also, it's just kind of easy to do these. I put together some videos. I have no idea what I'm going to see, or I don't watch these ahead of time. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. So it's kind of relaxing for me, just to kind of riff off the cuff, versus thinking about episodes and planning stuff out. And I plan a lot of episodes, and they don't always come through because, like, I'll go over ideas going, I just don't feel like I want to talk about this. Or as I'm going over the idea, I kind of change my mind on something. So this is actually enjoyable for me. All right, now down to business. Dr. Pillai, I must confess that I have a slight bias for him. I know about him. I've chanted Shreem Brzee. I know some people think like Shreem Brzee is maybe fiction. He just made it up. I'm not aware of any controversies surrounding him, though, outside of that. I think he's probably a pretty decent teacher, so I'm coming into this completely biased. Do I agree with everything he says? Uh, no. And I've actually pulled out a video today, which I absolutely know from the title I don't agree with. And there was a couple other videos that were like this that I was unable to download. Um, and that I'll mention when I get there. So no, I don't agree with him on everything, and but we'll get there. I've saved the best till last. I have two very kind of interesting videos that we're gonna sort of end today's sitting with that should be interesting. That might be an understatement. We'll find out. Anyways, I was introduced to Dr. Pillai 2020, 2019. Maybe it was right before the lockdowns in 2020 by a friend of mine at the time, Surya Ananda in England. Young fellow, you may know who he is. He is Hindu and has been practicing and knows different teachers and was following Dr. Pillai either at the time or he knew of him and said, hey, you should check this guy out. And oh, okay, sure, why not? He actually recommended a lot of teachers to me, Mother Mira being one of them, who I think is awesome. I did a reaction to her and was blown away by it. But Surya Ananda recommended Dr. Pillai and Shreem Brzee, and I was like, okay, and I just looked into him a little bit, and so I did at that time 108 days. Every day I would take a walk, and this was actually just at the beginning of the lockdowns and then throughout the lockdowns. Um, I was out of work for 2 months, and so every day I would go out for a walk and chant Shreem Brzee at least 180 times, maybe more, maybe less, whatever. And I would film it, and I put the video up on a YouTube channel which no longer exists. It's been wiped. And yeah, I'd sometimes mention, hey, I found a $20 bill on the ground, or I did this, or I did this. I have a video, a live show I've done where I chant Shreem Brzee and I talk about that experience. So instead of going over it again, I'm just going to refer you to a link down below where you can watch that show and see what my conclusions were. Does Shreem Brzee work? Was the manifestations that I had coincidental? Whatever. I've had people say, well, no, you can't actually chant Shreem Brzee when you want something because then you won't get it. So if you did this test, it doesn't work right. You have to just do it without wanting anything. And then there's a guy on the internet I know. He's like, I went to a job interview and I chanted Shreem Brzee and I got the job. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. He can chant it, but I can't. So watch that video, and if you still have comments or criticisms, you can come back to me and come back to this, whatever. And but I had mixed results. Is basically I had mixed results with it, but it's kind of a fun word. It's kind of fun to say, and I still kind of say it once in a while. I'll still chant it when there's something I want. So I've had mixed results with it, but I not like anti-Shreem Brzee. Okay, does that make sense? And I'm not anti Dr. Pillai. I actually think the little bit I've seen of Dr. Pillai, he's pretty good. He's a businessman, though. I am going to confess, he's making money off of this. You can buy tons of classes online, and he's spread this thing out. I mean, on one hand, good for him. He's making a living, and I don't think he's defrauding people. I think he's also trying to stick to some sense of tradition. He does yagnas and stuff, so I give him more credit than other businessmen who are just like, yeah, no, who cares about that? Who cares about that? I think Dr. Bly is very sincere. If I had mixed reviews for Shreem Brzee, you know, that's what it is. Does that make sense? My bias? You got my bias on this? Okay. I think it's very important that you know where I'm coming from. So that way, if you start criticizing me, you know from what point of view I'm going to criticize you back, for lack of a better phrase. Anyways, let's get to it. This is what you're waiting for. The chat window is open, and I do have an eye on it. So as we're watching this, if you're watching this live, please feel free to chime in during a video or something. Let me just make sure everything's good to go. So here we go. I have talked enough. Let's rearrange the place and get some videos going. So you see, I chose a bunch of stuff, and if you look at the very last one, yeah, that one should be interesting because we'll see if his prophecy is okay. And yeah, something to look forward to. So I've randomly chosen these videos from his YouTube page. I had I had a whole list of stuff. Some just didn't download, and so this is what we've got up together. This is what we're going to look at today, and so yeah. Here we go. We're just going to dive in the first one. We're going to let them all play, and I'm going to respond to them. And like I said, the chat window is open. And yes, I see we already got someone in there. And let me just get my things together. Here we go. Yes. All right. We're starting. Actually, no. I'm going to rearrange something. You see the very first one there, Bible is the living word. This is the one I was referencing in my introduction where I might have a discrepancy with him. And I had 3 Christian videos I found by him, but this was the only one that I was able to download. So this is where we're going to get I'm going to have issues, but I want to wait to the end. I want to wait to the end. I want to start off on something I think might be a little more in line with my feelings towards him already. I know, I'm being biased. Here we go.
What are blessings and ego? These are 2 questions put to Gina, and then she conveyed it to me, and I seemed to be at that time in a good mood, and I said I would answer them. And here I am.
Funny.
Answering those questions. The first question, what's a blessing? A blessing, the best way to answer the question is to show you a picture of Vishnu, the high god. You see it on the top of my head on the wall. And he has in his heart the 7 worlds together. There was a calamity of a pralaya, which is the apocalypse time. And during that time, the God comes and then he swallows the entire 7 worlds, according to this mythology, and protects them. Once the worlds are inside his heart, and nothing happens. And that's a blessings. Blessings are a blessing is God's grace to do, to bring out an extraordinary act of compassion, which is a miracle. That's what a blessing is.
I'm just going to pause here and say I really like Dr. Pillai's sort of homespun, talking to the video, you feel very connected with him when you're doing this. They're very immediate. They're very one-on-one, very low key. They're not glossy. You see him just wearing normal clothes. I really like that. Some people may criticize it, go, well, he's doing that deliberately versus like Sadhguru who's up on a stage. Maybe, but he's done so many of these over the years. I think this is just part of his way of reaching out to people. This is a great way of him talking, communicating people, and I think it's very successful. I really like it. He's just riffing off the cuff, and I think it really shows him in a very honest way. Again, a critic may say that it's a setup, but it works, so I give him points for that. Anyways, he just said that a blessing. Oh, and I'm talking, and I've already forgot it. He said that a blessing is from God, okay, for something positive. Actually, let's go back because it was a great word he said. I really liked it. So we're just going to, ah,
The worlds are a blessing, is God's grace
okay.
to do, to bring out an extraordinary act of compassion.
That's what I really liked. A blessing is something that brings out an extraordinary act of compassion. That's a very interesting take on blessing. Uh, Normally, I think of blessing as in you're being given something. Oh, I was blessed with water to drink. That's clean. Okay. I was blessed with a new phone after my old one broke. I was blessed because when I dropped my phone, it didn't crack. That's a good blessing. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying a blessing is an extraordinary act, and that is a very, very interesting take. Now, I'm sure he wouldn't say that getting a new phone is not a blessing, but it's almost like he's implying a blessing goes beyond just getting something. Like, yes, you're being given something, okay? But also, there's an expectation that now you will do something good with it. Does that make sense? So I'm not just being given a new phone, I'm being given a phone with the expectation I won't sit here for 6 hours, I don't know, playing a video game or something. I'll do more with it. I'll reach out. Or a better example is I'm being blessed with this water, so I share it with somebody else. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixing my definition with his definition, but it's something interesting to ponder. There's a very interesting definition of blessing,
which is a miracle. That's what a blessing is. And it is important to seek the blessings of these high beings because as human beings we are very limited and negative.
True.
And fearful, doubtful. So who can help is just a divine being. And to go back to this Vishnu's grace or blessings, grace and blessings go together. Now, once you swallow him, so to say, then you have the ability of what he has. So this is one of the devotees who said, I swallowed Vishnu and he had swallowed all the worlds, so I have all the worlds under my control now.
Is he citing Advaita Vedanta where we become one with Vishnu? I mean, that's okay, but I'm not an Advaita Vedanta person. I don't believe in this. I believe even if you feel like you're one, you're still separate, because even if I believe I am one with God, I can't manifest water. God can. So there's still some sense of separation. I can't just manifest a brand new phone. I have to go buy one. God could just manifest a new one. So even if I'm one with God, I believe there's always separation. So I don't follow that line of thinking. So if I take Vishnu in me, now I can do anything. Okay, prove it. Prove it. Go ahead. Prove it. I know it puts me in the camp of Dvaita and Vasishtha but I just feel like nobody can actually prove Advaita Vedanta. Like when you swallow Vishnu, you have all the worlds in you. Okay, now manifest something. Be like God. Sorry, that's just my criticism, and that this just is my point of view from my experience and my readings and whatever. Yes, we may aim for that union, but we'll never truly get there in these bodies.
And he developed a lot of siddhi powers. So what that means is the blessings or grace give you extraordinary powers like the God himself.
But if you swallow Vishnu and you become Vishnu, do you not then give yourself those powers?
So that's about blessings or grace. What about ego? And this came out of a talk I gave this morning where I said that you need ego to manifest. Without ego, you cannot manifest. And people got confused. So ego is bad, and how can these go together? Ego
Mm.
and manifestation. There are two types of ego. One is called sattvic in Sanskrit, which is a good ego, an ego that is going to do only good things for oneself and also for others. It's sattvic, S-A-T-V-I-C, sattvic ego. That ego is good, which is associated with self-esteem. Self-esteem is not bad. Yeah? And that is a good ego. And you should have that good ego, which is a self-esteem that I can do it, I deserve this, all these kinds of things. But this sattvic ego doesn't hurt others or yourself. The other ego is a negative ego called tamasic ego. Tamasic is in a low level, lethargic, a harmful ego, which is pride in English, which is not desirable. So when I said that you need ego to manifest, it meant in the sense of a self-esteem, of deservation, I deserve. So this I wanted to share with you that,
I'm
but very
confused.
important
He
to
he he veered off. He
know the
lost his focus.
distinctions, and particularly to know about the
We went from blessings, which was decent, now into ego, and now you're deserving of something. So I manifest something because I'm deserving of something, basically due to my self-esteem. But what does that have to do with blessings? So are we then implying he didn't connect them up? Maybe he will in the last 50 seconds. Are we implying that, well, I deserve something, so bless me with something? And I don't know what this has to do with swallowing Vishnu, where you can basically bless yourself. So he kind of lost point here, lost track. Mm.
power of the grace or blessings from the Guru. So don't miss the Guru Purnima event.
Oh, now we're on a guru. I
There
thought we
will
were talking
be
about Vishnu.
several
Sorry.
programs. One is free and one
uh,
is, a budget program, and so you may want to take a look at that.
okay.
God bless.
Sorry, you lost it, sir. Let's go to the next one.
Doubt sabotages your life.
Okay, I can dig that.
Otherwise, everybody can have an outrageous life. The moment you doubt, the manifestation is stopped.
So that's actually said by the law of attraction too, which I've read a lot about. Uh, Doubt is what hurts your manifestation. Whatever you're attracting requires you to just believe, believe, believe. So this is not a new idea. I can't credit this to Dr. Pillai. This is something that's been around. The first time I've read about it was in what The Magic of Believing by Claude M. Bristol from 1948, and it predates him even. You just have to be absolutely focused. This is a law of attraction, very common idea in the manifestation circles.
But doubt is the nature of the mind. You
But he's
cannot
right
do
about that too.
anything about it unless there is some help from above, from the gods and angels, who can help you to get rid of of your doubt, to get rid of the mind, to get rid of your ego. You should always remember that the mind is not reliable. It thinks something now and then contradicts and then goes and doubts and then leads on to another doubt.
Mm, true.
If you can have a doubt-free understanding, then that leads to instantaneous manifestation.
Uh,
Doubt-free understanding leading to instantaneous manifestation is
Due to my reading of a lot of law of attraction stuff and watching a lot of stuff like that, and when I say law of attraction, as I just said, I was quoting um, Magic Believing, so it's not just Abraham-Hicks or whatever, or The Secret. Yeah, it's really hard to have no doubt across the board. It's really really hard here to do that because there's so um, many things in this world, uh, and there's so many questions we could have about everything. God, even we can doubt God, and that's very easy to do. We can doubt the future because we don't know it. It's really hard to have zero doubt. Now, he says that if you have zero doubt in something, you can manifest instantly. Yet, everything I've ever said, or excuse me, everything I've ever read, no one ever says instant manifestation is happening. It takes a little time. Something has to happen. Nothing happens instantly. Maybe it's because it's impossible to be completely without doubt. But he's contradicted himself. He said, if you have doubt, the manifestation won't happen. It kills the manifestation. Now he's saying, if you have 100% doubt, the manifestation happens instantly. So where's the middle ground? So our minds naturally doubt. According to him, doubt kills the manifestation. So if you have any doubt at all, that's it. It's done. No manifestation. If you have 100% doubt, if you have 100% confidence and zero doubt, you have instant manifestation. So you basically either have to be 100% confident about something or it doesn't happen. That's what he's saying, that the only way to manifest, and this goes against everything I've read in Law of Attraction, Magic of Believing, uh, everything else that's out there. So basically, he's saying the only way to have any sort of manifestation is 100% confidence with zero doubt, and it will happen instantly. Well, that then begs the question, what if I want something that isn't going to be instant? What if, well, I'm recording this on a Saturday. What if on Monday at work I want something to happen? Well, that's not instant. That's 2 days away. I guess maybe that counts because as soon as I go to work on Monday, then it will happen. So it's instant in the moment I want it. But still, he's saying you either have doubt or you don't. If you have doubt, you have no manifestation. But yet it's almost impossible to think of anything in this world of which we can have zero doubt about. There's always doubt. This is how our minds work. This is how philosophers make a living, you know. So, what in this world could there be of which we have zero doubt about? There's nothing. There's nothing. So basically, he's saying that manifestation, because there's nothing we can have zero doubt about, he's basically saying manifestation is therefore impossible. It can't happen. That's what he said. Put all his words together. He has clearly said it can't happen. Unless you can think of a topic, someone out there can think of a topic which we can have zero doubt about. But I can probably debunk that topic instantly and show you how no, you'll have doubt. As it is manifestations about something in the future, how can you have zero confidence in the future? For example, let's say I want to manifest something in a month from now. I have absolute confidence that that is going to happen based on a bunch of events that I'm able to predict. And then Russia declares war on America. And now suddenly there's a war. Well, I couldn't predict that. So even if I have zero doubt on the future, there is something else coming in that messed up my whole game plan, you see. So this whole question of how can you have doubt, you have, which means you really can't have super confidence in the future because that means you're ignoring outside of events or events outside of your control. So he's just debunked manifestation. Literally, he has just debunked manifestation. If you listen to him, and this is one of my criticisms of gurus, you need to listen to these people and think about what they say. Because if you just listen to them and don't think, it feels really, really good. It sounds really, really good. He's basically saying you need to have doubt. You can have instant, or, don't have any doubt. It's going to be okay. But when you put all the math together, really he's saying there's no manifestation. It can't happen because there's nothing out there of which we can have complete confidence in. There's literally nothing. And actually, like I said, that goes against law of attraction, that goes against other things, that even goes against scripture things that I read. God doesn't expect people to be completely confident. Rama wasn't confident. He had doubt.
The domain of the angels, gods, extraterrestrials, if you want
What does that
to
have in?
use that term.
Okay.
But you can better understand what I am saying about doubt, about instant manifestation, if I use a modern lingo, using science and through a practice of meditation. And that's what I'm going to do
Okay.
on Ganesha's birthday.
You know,
For all of you, I'm going to give you a great gift, and that gift is there are people who are working.
So we could understand what he's saying through an example of modern lingo and scientific work or talk, which he's not going to do right now, but he is using modern lingo. So what language is he speaking? Is he speaking in Sanskrit? Is he speaking in Shakespearean tongue? Well, no, he's speaking in modern lingo. He's using modern words. But no, he can give an example in modern words on another. I'm sorry, Dr. Pillai, you're not coming out the gate very strong, and I'm very disappointed. I'm actually extremely disappointed.
Closely with me on a upscale program, and I just completed a video for them. So you will get highlights of that program for those who will participate in the Ganesha's program offerings. I've done a lot of videos on Ganesha over a period of time, 20, 25 videos. which you will be also watching, which are all available in YouTube and Facebook. The one that I have just completed, which I want to offer to you, is based on my new understanding. So I just want to offer you that gift on Ganesha's birthday. Doubt has to be removed from our psychology
Oh, kind of hard to do.
so that we see reality face to face.
So if we have no doubt, then we can see reality as it is what he's saying. Even though I think if you read the scriptures, people have seen reality. They've gone to this, whatever, I don't know, like the Srimad Bhagavatam or something, and they've had doubt. So people in the past could have doubt, but we need no doubt in order to see reality. But what is reality face to face? What is this reality?
Doubt creates time, creates logic,
Yes.
creates frustration, creates obstacles.
Yes,
You
but
can
also
get rid
creates
of that,
truth.
provided you understand that there is help available from the
So doubt creates obstacles. Okay, so I am a scientist working on a vaccine. I want to know if this vaccine works. I do a study. Uh, yes, the results came out really well. What do I do then? Do I rush the vaccine to the stores? No. Usually someone else will then come by and go, okay, well, I'm going to do your study again because I have doubt about it. And they do the study again and come up with different results. Well, what do we do then? Well, we do another study. We do another study. We do another study to get beyond this doubt to finally find something that goes, oh, I now have done this experiment 5 times and I found that your vaccine is really great, but it has a problem here. And we need to change this ingredient. The scientific method is based on doubt. Darwin doubted the way the world was created. We are always researching things because we question. So what he's saying is doubt is bad, we shouldn't have doubt. But actually doubt is very good. Doubt makes you go for truth. Complete opposite of what he's saying.
divine. And this is the gift of the yogis of India.
So the gift of the yogis of India is to have no doubt, but doubt is what drives science and questioning. Doubt is what drives people to get into religion. Doubt is what drives someone to walk to a yogi and say, "Can you tell me XYZ?" If you have no doubt, why would you do that? You don't need to. You know the answer.
So that will be available
Also, this is a lot
to
of
you.
promotion.
Just made the decision.
A lot of promotion.
Also, I want to announce you to the people that who have been following my videos. I want to start a new program, new channel
So
for
much
YouTube
promotion.
and also Facebook. Elitist Hinduism.
A what?
I have read many about many religions, and I have taught them also. But I have never seen a religion which is a super science like Hinduism.
Even though Hinduism has flaws in its
And
science.
the modern Hinduism that is being practiced is
Neo.
only a very watered down and misunderstood, misperceived
Oh, I agree with that. That's Neo
Hinduism.
Vedanta. Yes, I agree. I complain about
It
Neo
is
Hinduism all the
difficult
time.
to understand the elitist. The elitist Saivism, the elitist Vaishnavism is beyond quantum physics. is beyond our space technology. And I'm going to focus on the Puranas, the 18 Puranas. They carry the highest wisdom that we do not know,
I haven't read
even
any
through
Puranas yet, so I
our
have no
modern
comment.
science and technology. So there is a need for me to do that. So I will soon start it, probably from Ganesha's birthday, because Ganesha is accredited also for writing the Puranas as well. He was a scribe for Vyasa, who dictated the Puranas to Ganesha. It's so fulfilling for me to do that. God bless.
So much self-promotion.
I've done so many money videos, hundreds of them over a period of hundreds and maybe 200, 300, if not more. But this video is different from all of that, especially for those people who are viewing this video clip from India. I'm going to talk about making money on a daily basis, not from the point of view of popular psychology, motivation, or technology, and, uh, and and from several other perspectives, but from the perspective of the oldest uh, scripture in Hinduism, which is the Rig Veda. Rig Veda starts with money. Agnim mile purohitam yajnasya devam ritrijam hotaram ratnadatamam. That's where the first rig talks about money. Ratnadatamam, give me money. To who? He's asking the god Agni to give him money. How Agni can give you money or fire can give you money? Because it's fire that turns everything, even mud, into gold, platinum, diamond, all these things. Okay, that is a modern scientific interpretation. So Agni knows, fire knows how to do that. So if you can communicate with fire, then uh, then gets its blessings. You
So I'm going to pause here because he said the Rig Veda opens up with money. Well, I'm looking at the hymns of the Rig Veda, the first book, hymn number 1, where I'm actually going to read it to you right now. I laud Agni, the chosen priest, god, minister of sacrifice, the Hotar, lavishest of wealth. Is that is that what he means? So it's one of his attributes of Agni that he lavishes wealth. So that is, does he mean that? That's not really beginning. The focus isn't on money, but we'll keep going. Worthy is Agni to be praised by living as by ancient seers. He shall bring hitherward the gods. Through Agni man obtaineth wealth. Yeah, plenty waxing day by day, most rich in heroes glorious. Okay, sort of, sort of. It's the focus of this is not money though. That's not the focus. The focus is Agni. This is a hymn to Agni, not a hymn to money. And this is not really asking for money. It's just he gives wealth. And he doesn't actually say money, it's wealth here. He is the lavishest of wealth, and wealth can be in forms that are not just money. What else does this say? Yeah, it just is describing page 2. Let me turn here. Let's see. Oh, I went too far. Sorry. I gotta backtrack. I'm on the Internet Archive right now. Um, yeah, it's just a praise to Agni, and that's just one of he just gives wealth. So he's right, but he's sort of not right. Him too talks to Vayu, and then it's the us. Yeah. All right. I just like to double check that. It's yeah. Hmm. Okay, here
to
we
be
go.
able to make money. This falls in line with another video that I did on the Bhagavad Gita, where uh, uh, Krishna advises Arjuna, hey, if you want money, then go do the fire ritual. Because then fire ritual, you invoke gods, and there are gods in charge of giving you money, and they will give you the money. So I don't want to repeat that. I've done a few videos on that uh, uh, last month. Now, I just want to address money on the issue of getting money on a daily basis. Again, there is a rig that I remember. Agni Masnavat. It is through money, through Agni, that money comes. Agni Masnavat. Posham eva dividive yasasam dhiravattamam. Dividive, which means every day. Every day I need to get money. I need to get money every day. Not people don't even get money on a monthly basis. So even the concept of getting money every day is a very fantastic concept that Wall Street would be interested in knowing, and then they are already doing that. Agninath Rahim Ashnavat. Agninath. By Agni that we uh, get wealth. And then we have to get it every day. And we have to put that in our minds. And who can do that? Agni, the fire can do that. That's why fire ritual is the most important thing. Ritual, and then there are not many people who can do it right because they all do it. It has become a commercial thing. But anyway, what I want to
So essentially, we all want money on a daily basis. The way we can get this is to praise Agni, which is according to the Vedas, via doing yagna, okay? But that's become very commercial. But yet, I'm sorry, Dr. Pillai, you have a lot of yagnas. I've seen them that ask for a lot of money. So, you're kind of complaining about how you make your money. Like you're doing it like it's this, yeah, not really a fair complaint. I have to be honest with you. This is not really a fair not complaint's not the right word. A fair criticism. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a bit it's hypocritical. That's the word I'm looking for.
say to you is I'm going to do some work, especially for Indians and people of Indian origin, and also Americans who are watching this, and then who kind of resonate with this idea of the fire ritual, and then making money through fire rituals, and also some traditional approaches. So those of you who want to participate in this, and I want to do
Another
something more on
promotion.
this line, so you should, I want to know that how many of you are interested
Uh,
in uh, in getting video clips and messages and advice on that. So I'll talk to my staff. In the meantime, you can give your express your interest by responding to this video on like I don't know how it is done. Maybe sending writing a comment, and then with the email or whatever. So I'll leave it to you and others to take care of that. God bless.
I'm every we've watched three videos. Everyone has been a promotion for something. The theme is I'm going to talk about this. He touches on the topic and then talks about what he's going to do that you can be involved with if you pay him money. This is such a fraud situation. Not a fraud. Con man? No, not a con man. Money making game? It's obnoxious. I'm very disappointed in this. So, the theme of this talk, you can't see it from your side, but it says how to attract money daily. He said, turn to the Vedas. First Veda says Agni, one Veda, not sorry, one hymn in the Rig Veda. So he goes, I'm going to base this talk on the Vedas, on the Rig Veda, but he talks about one hymn out of 1,000, maybe more than 1,000. That's it. And literally, it's not even a hymn that's focused on money. It's a hymn praising Agni. And Agni gives money or gives wealth. So it's not the focus. It's just one hymn, a few little words. That's it. And he says, praise Agni with a fire ritual. It's hard to find because many people are very greedy and it's all corporate. Oh, by the way, I've got a bunch of fire rituals that I'm going to be charging you for, and talk to me about this. And there's special things coming up. So there was hardly any talk here. None of these have actually been talks, and the one that was, I debunked immediately. I am I'm wired right now, and I'm only drinking water. I'm wired because I am really disappointed in what I'm hearing. I just chose videos that were short too. Okay, so maybe if we did a really long talk, maybe that would have been better. I just chose a bunch of short stuff because I like to see a bunch of different talks by teachers. I would rather watch a couple short talks than one talk, because then I think you get a different perspective on the person in different contexts. And here we've seen him just doing phone stuff, which I like. We've seen him give a formal talk. We've seen him when his hair was longer. I'm, I, I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I feel like he's sort of not. I feel like he's not giving us what he's saying. He's not giving us talks. He's throwing out ideas and then kind of luring us in, going, "Oh, isn't this sound great? Oh, by the way, if you buy this product, it's not a scam. He's not scamming us, unless you believe the yagnas aren't true, and that this is all crap. But that's a whole other discussion. So he's not scamming us. He's not a con man, and I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy. But it's definitely screaming gibberish. He's debunked himself, and it's screaming money. I, that doesn't land well with me. I always say in my shows, I don't know how many of you realize this or have watched a lot of my shows. I always say, if you want to work with me or do something with me, or you like what I do on the channel, subscribe, comment, even though I don't actually read the comments. So private message me if you want to get a message to me. I just have no time to read the comments other than once in a while. Um, if you want to connect with me, great. I respond to any email I get. And I say, if you want to contribute to my way, there's a buy me a coffee. You can support me once, you can support me regularly, you can buy one of the books that's autographed. I also say, if you like me and you like what I do, grab my address from my website and buy something for me. There's candles on Etsy. I love candles. We use them all the time. Buy me a book. I'm always reading, and if it's a religious book, I will share it here on YouTube. So then it's paying it forward. So you get me a book of something, I will read it. This is something I'm recording. It's a short book by Savakar. I'm recording. I'll read it here. We'll share it. That's a way of giving. But you never see me asking for hundreds of dollars or something. I just don't do that. I don't feel right doing that. And that's not what my focus is. My focus is doing something else and getting all of you to think and realize things, and just be aware and grow and yada yada. And then if you want to help me, you can. But the gist of his talk is the complete opposite. It's all about what he's going to do for you if you pay money. And it's a lot of money sometimes, and it's special. And I'm doing a special class now. This just comes to me, so it just doesn't jive with me. My focus is, I just want to help the world. I just do this because I feel like I want to help the world. If you want to contribute some way, you may, and I give you opportunities to, but that's not why I'm here. I have a day job. You know what I mean? It just feels very manipulative. Oh, I'm so sorry, Dr. Pillai.
Matter is vaporous. There is no substance to matter at all, although it appears to be solid. If we can understand, not only understand, but live this reality, then no one will ever feel that they are stuck.
So obviously this is just a recording, something a little different. So he's saying matter is vaporous, none of this is real, and once you understand that this is vaporous, you won't be stuck. So I want a promotion at work. If I understand that my work is vaporous, will they give me a promotion? No, it doesn't work like that. That I don't know what he's going on about. Uh, I, I, uh, I don't know.
You are not stuck in your job. You are not stuck in your dirty apartment. You are not stuck in your relationship. Nobody is stuck anywhere because there is nothing that stays forever.
Oh lordy, oh God, nothing is eternal, nothing stays forever though. So if you feel like you're stuck in your job and you've done the same thing for 50 years and now you're retiring and you'll be like, yeah, I never went anywhere, just remember, nothing's eternal. So that job won't last for 1,000 years. That is the worst self-help advice I've ever heard. I'm very sorry. Also, this recording seems to be slow. I don't know. I don't know if it's me or them who did it.
Things seem to continue from day after day after day. It is because we do not want to do anything to change it. Once you change things within your own mind, then things will change in the outer.
So we don't want to do things but when we do change things, I'm sorry, that was gibberish. So if you change your mindset, your world will change. Okay. So I just changed my mindset. Do I have a job promotion coming up on Monday? Probably not. I'm doing the same job now that I did 9.5 years ago. But I changed my mindset. I now feel like I'm job promotion worthy. I mean, I work at a small company. There's not much movement for anyone. How does that work? How does that work? That doesn't work. Just changing your mindset doesn't work. I worked for a company once. There was only me, another salesperson, and the owner. I didn't get a raise. He paid me under the table. If I changed my mindset and said, "Oh, I want a promotion," what? There was only two salespeople. I work 5 days a week. The other guy works 1 day a week. What was going to happen? I was going to own the company. There was no place to change other than be unemployed, which is actually what happened. So you can't always change your mindset and then change things. But according to this, you shouldn't bother to change your mindset because you're not really stuck. Because you see, nothing is eternal. So that job I had in that store for 2 years where I felt stuck because there was no promotion space because there just wasn't anywhere to go other than buying out the company. I wasn't really stuck, you see, because the job wasn't eternal. But if I change my mind, wow, that's gibberish. That is literally bad self-help gibberish. I'm sorry, I can't even rate Dr. Pillai as a good self-help teacher. And I've said this in other things, like I don't know about some of these other people. There's some gurus I've questioned in some reaction videos. I'm like, yeah, they're not spiritual enlightened beings, but they're probably good teachers, but I can't even do that here. This is just pure gibberish. But this is the first video where he didn't promote something. But it was poorly done, and that looks like an AI generated image of him or um, photoshopped. Anyways. Ah, I'm.
Generally speaking, if you go to the scriptures of any tradition, or most of the traditions, you find a God giving a lecture, and this is common. And
Okay.
people get tired of it over a period of time listening to the same lecture.
So that means people are tired of the Bible? They're tired of the Quran? They're tired of the. I never hear anyone say, I'm so tired of the Bhagavad Gita because all it is God lecturing. It's been how many years or how many thousands of years since that book was written? I'm so tired of it. That's what he just said, that we're tired of the Bhagavad Gita. We need something new which doesn't have God lecturing in it. We need a book without God. I hope to God that's not what he said.
But one person who is, or one Messiah, who is an exception to this rule, is Jesus.
Oh,
Jesus never lectured.
you heard of the Sermon on the Mount, sir? Have you heard of the Sermon on the Mount?
Whatever you have in the Bible, in the name of Jesus, is reported by his apostles.
Yeah, but that still means he lectured.
And Jesus was against lecturing.
Jesus was against lecturing. Can you show me where in the Bible this is? Jesus condemned scribes and bad religious leaders. Um, he condemned Pharisees, but he wasn't against lectures. I'm actually googling right now. Uh, Jesus never lectured, never gave a lecture. Let's see. Anything come up? Yeah, no, no, that doesn't come up anywhere. Lecture. Let's try lectures of Jesus, kids. Lectures. Sorry, you can't see my screen. I don't know how to do it. Uh, lecture. No, these are lectures about lectures by Jesus, not of Jesus. I guess. There we go. By Jesus. Teachings of Jesus. Yeah, no, that's not biblical, dude. You just literally made something up that's not in the Bible. Jesus, Jesus was against lectures. Where does it say that? And he gave lectures, so he wasn't. And just because someone recorded the lecture doesn't mean it wasn't a lecture. So the apostles wrote, recorded what he said. Uh, I know what you're thinking. We're going to get there in a second. Recorded what he said, and it was like sentences, but it wasn't a lecture. No, dude, you're wrong. And two, the apostles didn't record anything. The Bible was not written by the apostles. If it was, they lived a really long life. But there's no books in the Bible, the Old Testament, sorry, the Old Testament to be clear, there's no books in the Old Testament. No books in the New Testament. I'm sorry, my thoughts are running away from me. There are no books in the New Testament written by any of the apostles, nor are any of the writings based on writings by the apostles. We do have writings that are credited to apostles. I think there's like the scripture of Barnabas or whatever. But these are unverifiable. They're not canonical, And often they aren't actually by that person, they're just credited their stories about the apostle, but not by the apostle. The only thing we really have in the New Testament by the apostles is the letters of Paul. But Paul wasn't one of the apostles who lived during the life of Jesus and was there with Jesus and hanging out, yo buddy, and doing shit with Jesus. He wasn't there. You can count him as an apostle, but he came later. I don't even know if Christians count him as an apostle. And his letters were dictated. I don't know if he could write. So none of his letters were actually written by him. So therefore, there is no books in the Bible written by apostles. They were not dictated by the apostles. And just because they were doesn't mean that Jesus didn't lecture. He did lecture. It wasn't just random sentences. You have no idea what you're talking about, Dr. Pillai. You have literally just rewritten Christian history and made up your own history. I find this insulting, not because I'm a Christian, but because if we're going to talk about Christians and either criticize them or try to pull them into Sanatana Dharma, we should at least know what we're talking about. Saying, well, Jesus was against lectures when his apostles wrote the Bible or something, or wrote down the stuff he said, and that proves yada yada. But that if none of that is true, we're not actually doing ourselves any favor. And if none of that is true, then the next conclusion that we're going to make isn't anything. There's no next conclusion there. There cannot be another conclusion. We can't say, well, this proves that Jesus is this when nothing we've said is true. For any of us who want to incorporate Jesus into Sanatana Dharma, and I don't, I think we should just keep them completely separate. I do not believe Jesus is Krishna, Krishna is Mother Mary is what. I don't believe any of this. They are two separate religions, and they were up until the Christian missionaries, the Unitarians, told us they weren't. You hear me rant on this, I won't get into it right now. We need to keep them separate. But if we want to combine them, if we want to relate to them, if we want to just compare them, to make stuff up is deceptive. What's not the right? Deceptive. It is insincere, and it is ignorant. What if I said to you, and I was a Christian, what if I said, well, Jesus is a lot like this Hinduism. And in Hinduism, the supreme being is Lakshmi, who created Vishnu, who created Manu, and then Manu gave birth to Shiva. And therefore, Krishna is Lakshmi and Manu, and Jesus is Shiva. You would say I was speaking gibberish. You would say I know nothing about Hinduism, and you would be like, no, that's not true. That's Lakshmi didn't create Vishnu. There's no story that says that. And Manu didn't create Shiva because Shiva came first. You would say, no, learn something about Hinduism before you make things up. Read our books before you make things up. But clearly, he doesn't do that. And I hate when we don't do that. So we want people to learn about us, but yet we are completely ignorant about other religions. No, I have no tolerance for this. This is garbage. It's just lying, and it's just manipulative, and it's just preying on people who haven't read the Bible and giving out false information to try to prove a point that you can't prove. Oh, this bugs me. This bugs me. I really, if spouting misinformation that we've made up doesn't make us more spiritual, it actually makes us less spiritual.
And he was very precise in his teachings.
That I'll agree with. He was precise in his
And
teachings.
people asked Jesus, we have done so many miracles in our life. What do you want from us? Just love me. It's a very important teaching.
I love the fact he doesn't actually cite scripture here. I'm not even gonna question because I don't know the Bible well enough, or I don't remember. I haven't memorized it to be able to criticize what he just said, but I love how he hasn't cited any scripture other than notes taken by apostles who didn't take notes.
Love me. Love the one whom God had sent to you here. Loving God or the Messiah or the Guru is the most important teaching, and that is enough. So he is a non-teaching Messiah or God.
Okay,
And here,
I need to stop. I need to stop. So I just Googled what is Jesus' most important teaching. So according to Dr. Pillai, it's love me. According to Mark 12:30 to 31, Matthew 22:37 to 39, Jesus' most important teaching is to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. He does not say, love me. According to Matthew 22:37 to 39, this is the first and great commandment, to love God. Not, he doesn't say love me. And then it says other core teachings of Jesus include forgiving others, not judging others, and laying up treasures in heaven. That is considered the greatest teacher. Doesn't say love me. That does not. So this isn't scriptural. He just made up his own scripture. He just made up his own testament. This is insulting. It's insulting to Christians, and it's insulting to Hindus because he assumes you haven't read the Bible and you're ignorant about other religions. But also, it's just ignorant on his part that he's saying that he's because remember the earlier video, he actually said he taught about other religions. Clearly, he hasn't because he wouldn't have taught such crazy. Well, no, maybe he has. Maybe he has taught such crazy things, but he clearly doesn't know about other religions. And it's not even a subtle misinterpretation. He's just making things up.
I want to talk about another God who is a non-lecturing God,
A non
who
lecturing
is
God.
the elephant-headed God,
Oh my God, Dr. Pillai.
Ganesha.
No.
And he belongs to a certain space in the galaxy, or he has his own galaxy too, wherein he sits and doesn't speak or anything. And he is often considered as one who is a performer. His focus is only on performance, no lecturing at all.
What's wrong with lectures?
And I just uh, want to give you what he does all day long. He is working with a sound, a mantra, and that is Gam.
Okay.
Gam. Gam. Focusing on his navel, he does all day long, all night long. Or there is no day or night there. Here all the time he is saying gum, gum, gum. It should be gum, gum. Just close your eyes and then say Gam, Gam, Gam. Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gham Ganapataye Namaha. If you just keep on saying that, not only the mind will quieten, but you will also be able to collect all your energy and not waste it, but focus on performance. The gum board itself is also a manifestation
Focus up performance. So that means we should chant this and we should become performers? That makes no sense.
sound. The sound is a manifestation sound. So the reason why I did this video was when I just came here, I did not want to lecture, honestly. And I did not even want to do this presentation for Facebook. I was going to do something else, but I ended up doing this. So there is a divine plan behind my doing this video for you. So do come and not waste time in listening to lectures.
Like yours?
And then what happens is it's just either entertaining or another way of passing time. Just do gum,
So don't listen to the video that
focusing
you
on
just
your
made where you literally made up Christian theology, is what you're saying.
navel. So that's all I wanted to say to you. And then, so you will find this new teaching reflected also in the upcoming Shreem Brzee program, where I'm not going to do too much talking,
Mm.
but be precise and then guide you uh, through manifestation, performance. Performance is what matters. Nothing else matters.
Performance
Otherwise, it
performance is what matters. Nothing else matters. So don't listen to any lectures. Instead, perform. But performance is not a real act. It's a fake act. So is he saying that nothing else matters except for an actor or actress on stage pretending to be somebody else? Or is he telling us he's a performance? Because what I've heard so far is a performance from him. This isn't real spirituality. This is a performance to get money for his thing. Shreem Brzee might be good. I'm very out. When I say mixed results, I had very few results that were anything but coincidence. I found a $20 bill. That was the big thing. I didn't get laid off, but it's like this is a performance. From a guy who's acting really sleepy or on drugs or something.
It's all talking. I don't want to be called as a talker, but a doer.
Oh, God. I
Om Gam
You talk a lot for someone who doesn't want to be a talker.
Ganapataye Namaha.
There's nothing wrong with
God
talking.
bless.
Talking is how we get ideas out there. Whatever. I can't. Okay, here's the last one.
Trump or Biden?
So this title, as you saw at the very beginning of today's stream, is called Trump versus Biden. Dr. Pillai talks from spiritual perspectives about the U.S. election 2020. So I'm recording this here in August. Sorry. Yeah, August 10th, 2024, and we're on the verge of doing Trump again, but it's Harris. It's not Biden, but it was Biden up until a few weeks ago. I chose this one deliberately because I think spiritual people like to prophesize the future. I talk about the future all the time. I mean, we all do. And I think this is really where someone can stand or fall as a teacher, is depending upon what they say about the future and how they talk about the future. I think this is. I've had more than one teacher I've uncovered who has said things and it's just been blown out of the water, and I'm done. I have no time for them because, yeah, if you're saying you're speaking for God but you can't get the future right, you're not speaking for God. And I know some of you watching this channel think I'm horrible. People don't necessarily want to connect with me because I'm not all being, just raise your vibration on your DNA and just love and whatever. I'm sorry, but this isn't true religion speaking gibberish. And that's what so many of people want is gibberish. I might be the lone voice in the wilderness, but I am trying to show you true religion isn't gibberish. Yes, faith itself is not rational. You cannot prove the existence of God. So I understand that we start from that first position, which is not rational, it's not even logical, and we have to just take a leap of faith and just start from something that is not and then build upon that. But I think once we take that leap and we say, okay, God exists, we're just going to say God exists, even though there is no actual proof that can definitely verify it one way or the other. It's all assumptions and whatever. We're just going to say he does. Okay, we'll go with it because we feel like it's better. From there on, should be rational and logical. And I might be the only person out there, or one of the few, or a minority. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who calls things out that are gibberish, but I don't think gibberish is getting us anywhere. I'm sorry, this isn't feel good religion time on my channel. It never is because that's not what I'm about. I'm about people actually having real, authentic spiritual revelation and experience. If there is a God, I want God to crackle, and spouting gibberish and contradicting yourself isn't going to do that. This is the problem of the New Age world. It's criticized for being egotistical. It's criticized for being contradictory. And how many of us know New Age people who are just like hard to be around? They don't seem spiritual at all. And what they say makes seemingly no sense. I saw someone the other day who said she could vibrate her DNA to a higher level, and when asked about this, she's like, oh yes, I felt like I've done this. But yet she had to go to the doctor to have her stomach checked out. Well, you can feel your DNA, which is microscopic, but your stomach that you can hold in your hand, you couldn't feel? Does that make rational sense to you? No. When you call her out on this, though, which didn't happen on this interview I saw, but when you call her out, I'm sure she'll get all defensive because she's not being rational. But if you're getting so defensive so quickly, is the problem really that someone's calling you out or that you haven't really thought about it? And this is where I turn to folks like Ramana Maharshi and Vivekananda. Even though I'm not Advaita Vedanta, the way they responded to things, and actually even Mother Mira and Santosha Tantra in reviews I've done, they haven't responded with, oh, well, whatever, you're so horrible for asking that question, you're so unenlightened. No, they've actually responded, particularly Vivekananda, because we have his writings with, that's a good point. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that point you just brought up. And they were always open to learning and growing, and that's what I love. And actually Buddha probably would be too. But I'm sorry if I'm not happy-go-lucky, peace and wave flowers, I just think that's gibberish. And gibberish for me has never done anything to enlighten me, and I don't see anyone around me speaking gibberish who are enlightened. Maybe in public they are, but when you close the door, doesn't seem like it. I want real experience and real spirituality. So I'm sorry, Dr. Pillai, you are very questionable to me now, and just what you're teaching is, well, in the last one is just completely unenlightened. But anyways, let's see what you say about the future, which we've already passed through to see what this is your moment, man.
Who will win?
I don't know. well,
This
I
is an unusual video
let's
that
find
I'm
out.
doing for you.
We know Biden won,
But,
so
however, I'm not going to deviate from my own commitment to spirituality and study of consciousness.
okay.
So I'm going to answer this question through the eyes of Vasishta, who is one of the greatest yogis in the Indian tradition.
Okay.
In this text called Yoga Vasishta, there are two kings who are fighting, and one wins, of course, and the two people worship the goddess of learning and education and music, Saraswati, and they both prayed to Saraswati. And the wife of the king who lost and also eventually killed by the other king was upset with Saraswati. And my husband also prayed to you, as well as the other guy, and you are unfair, and you just did not help my husband.
So before we go any farther, you know that I googled Yoga Vashista, so I hadn't heard of this text before, but it is actually a legitimate text. Uh, and it promotes the idea of self-inquiry, who am I, which has been promoted by all of us via Ramana Maharshi. Come to find out, according to Wikipedia, Ramana Maharshi was very much influenced by this text. Interestingly, I hear people say, well, Ramana. I do the same thing, but I've never heard of this text before, so I don't know how many people actually read it. Maybe that's something worth doing.
Saraswati said, no, that's not true. It is true that both these guys are my devotees. They trusted in me, and then they prayed so hard. And simply I answered their prayers. Your husband was tired of being a king, and he considered this world as Maya, and I'm done with this Maya. Please liberate me from this Maya. It is the illusion. So he didn't want to win. He just wants liberation of his spirit from his body. So how can that happen? Only through his defeat. So I answered his prayer. He wanted liberation, and he died, and he is liberated. Whereas the other guy, he wanted to win the war and then wanted to kill your husband and take the kingdom. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
Did I play any role? The goddess said, no. I did not play any role. I simply answered their prayer. It's what is important for everyone, not in this particular situation. In everyone, I allow people to have their will to be done, their prayers being answered.
Whenever someone talks about prayers being answered, I always have to say, and how often are your prayers actually answered? God doesn't have a good track record. I mean, the old example is, what if I pray to get a date with the redheaded girl and the redheaded girl prays that I go away? Whose prayers get answered? Because we both can't have our prayers answered. I mean, I guess I could get a date and then, I move to another town, but that's not what she wants.
So if the husband did not succeed because he did not want to, and of course, by now you would have judged what I am arriving at in
Nope.
answering the question whether Trump or Biden. I have observed.
No, the assumption that I have is that one is praying to win the presidential election and one is praying to lose. No, they're both praying to win, or they both prayed past tense to win.
At least 3 presidential elections.
Oh, more than that, sir. Far more than
And
that.
I had pretty good intuition about what was going to happen, and that intuition is based upon the consciousness of the people.
That is,
Starting with Bush.
that is a strange definition, and no, you're.
Al Gore did get the popular vote, but Bush became the president.
Yeah.
The same answer. Al Gore did not want to win.
How do you know that?
And how do we know? We know when there was a court case and then it went to the Supreme Court. During the entire period, I've been watching television.
I.
Bush said that I won. If Clinton is not going to give me charge, and I will establish a private foundation on that front, and that foundation will fund the interim government.
What is he talking about?
There was no doubt in George W. Bush's mind that he did not win. I won.
Yeah, because
I won. Whereas what happened with Al Gore. Whenever people asked,
No,
he said, let's wait, I'm not sure.
that doesn't mean he didn't want to. No, you can't draw that conclusion. No, you
Okay.
can't draw that conclusion.
So what
No,
is important
no,
is your consciousness. Your
no, that's
consciousness
not.
is very important.
You can't assume because he was acting nice in a public forum. Because here Bush was going, well, I got it. And Gore's like, no, let's wait. That doesn't mean Gore doesn't want it. He could have been trying to not act like Bush. Then that would be playing a game, and that would be him playing a game and a role to look a certain way, a performance, like you said in an earlier video, which you said was good. We should be playing performances, but now you're saying, well, performance means you didn't really want it. No, you can't draw that conclusion. You can't. You
I
can't.
knew this in the case of
So you knew Bush was going to win.
Obama versus Hillary when they were running for the primary.
Oh, okay.
I knew very well.
You that
I don't want to go into the details,
because
but
how do we know? Can we backtrack and find out what you said?
Obama has the audacity of hope. He was audacious.
Audacious, okay.
Yes, I am a black person and I'm the junior most senator. I don't have money. Hillary may have all the other, plus points, but who won the primary and the nomination? Obama, and won also. The same thing is to happen.
But wait a minute, sir. You skipped over. You didn't predict whether Obama would beat Kerry or Kerry beat Obama. I mean, on election night it was obvious, but what about that election? Who did you call? You skipped over that one. And you skipped over Bush's second election. You skipped over Obama's second election. So you basically call two elections that we have no evidence of, but have skipped over a bunch of others. So it's like a 50-50, man. And actually, one was a nomination; it wasn't an election. So your odds aren't actually showing you to be a prophet. But anyways, who is going to win
In
2020
this
4 years ago?
election or forever,
I'm just waiting. I'm just patient here.
you become as you think. Yad bhavam tad bhavati.
Okay, we got that.
You become as you think.
Okay, so President Trump
So,
was the sitting president in
so that
2020.
gives the answer. So I'm not going to give you the answers, so intuitively I know who will.
You just wasted our time. So you know the answer, but you're not going to tell it to us. So you don't know the answer, because why wouldn't you tell it to us in case you're wrong? Oh, you just wasted 7 minutes of our time. Intuitively, you know, because twice out of numerous elections you happen to guess right.
And whoever thinks that he is the president,
Is the one who
and I just want to add one point that President Trump said, I'm also thinking about the third term, which I,
he never.
justly deserve because the Democrats did not allow me to do my job in the first term. The second term, of course, I'm winning. The third term will be given to me as a compensation for what I was due for and which I did not get. So look at his consciousness. You know, people think it's unconstitutional, it cannot happen. You know, it is true, it's unconstitutional, etc. But what I am looking at is the consciousness of the individual. If you have
So
a loser's
I just found an article from 2024 this year that says Trump's serious about a third term, and this proves Republicans hate America. Basically, yada yada. That's actually not. It's from MSNBC. But then it says Trump has modified how he talks about staying in office beyond 2 terms. He used to frame it as a pure media trolling, libs triggering joke. But this week he was serious. So therefore, Dr. Pillai, Trump was joking. But you're saying, oh no, he talks about third term, therefore he's serious, so he's going to hit the president. Are you implying Trump won 2020? You're basically saying he wanted 3 terms, so that's kind of what you're implying, sir. You're intuiting. It says that Trump is going to win
consciousness,
2020. You were
then
wrong.
you will
He lost.
lose. If you have a winner's consciousness, you will win. Don't put the blame on God. That is the message.
No, your
God
message is all over the place.
will go with you.
So
If you are negative, then you will lose. If you are 100% certain that I am going to win, you are going to win. And that is the answer. So the lesson for everyone
that actually
is
reflects what he said in our first video about manifestation. If you're hesitant, you have nothing. So here he says, if you're absolutely confident, it'll happen. If you're not confident, you'll lose. Joe Biden was in the well, I don't know, 2020. Yeah, he was in the bunker. I don't know. So you're saying he was more confident than Trump. Biden was more confident than Trump. That's what the end result was. But you don't want to tell us.
you take responsibility
No,
for if you are a winner. If you lose, and you take the responsibility too. God is
no.
not
So
responsible
God,
for your winning or your losing.
but according to some people, God is involved in the world and it's all fated. So he's saying God is not involved in the world. I
It's all your positivity, your own self-esteem, and that is the most important thing. Then you can say, well, the blacks voted, the Hispanics voted this way, that way. Yes, that's true. I'm not saying that may not be true, that may be true, but the real truth to me
I
as a spiritual person is that you are responsible. So I wanted to do this video just to get across the idea that you create your own reality. You are a winner.
So basically, law of attraction meets Seth speaks. That's what you're saying. Law of attraction.
Or you are a loser, depending on what your consciousness is.
which is not karmic Hindu philosophy, which says no, your where you are is based on your karma, and then from there you have to create. No, he's actually saying you create your own reality, which comes right out of law of attraction type stuff, and Seth speaks,
Protect your
and New Age stuff.
consciousness with all positive thoughts
This is law of attraction again.
and be in the moment
It sounds good, but
and
this isn't.
don't look at the data.
This is.
Like Trump is not looking at the
He
data
thinks
and
Trump's
then
going to
is
win 2020.
frustrated
Yep, because he
because the
hasn't talked
polls
about
are
Biden.
saying that he's 10 points
Oh no!
below.
Oh, no. Trump is frustrated, so therefore he thinks he is. He thinks Biden is. I'm sorry. Just call it. Just. This is New Age stuff. This is New Age, New Age, New Age stuff. That's what you're spouting, Dr. Pillai.
Joe Biden. But for him, this doesn't matter.
For
He
him.
says, no, this is fake news. This is not going to work.
So Trump wins 2020
We
according
will
to you.
see what happens.
Yeah. No. You think Trump's
So,
going to win?
you know, it's on the one hand, it's the people who vote for him that decides the outcome. On the other hand, the individual decides. They are not, mutually exclusive. The individual is more important. So what you have to do is, so far if you have not been successful, take responsibility for that and then create as much positivity as possible and self-esteem, and that will give you the success. God bless.
So literally, he said, if you build up your self-esteem, do you really think Trump has a problem with self-esteem? This is one thing Trump has plenty of. You can say anything else about him that may be true or false, but he has got all the self-esteem in the world and more. He overflows in self-esteem. Him and DJ Khaled, who can't play guitar, are overflowing in self-esteem. But if only he builds up his self-esteem, then he can. Whatever. I'm just wound up.
The
And
Bible.
now we're going to go into the final talk, and I'm not even looking forward to this because this is going to be pure universalist neo-Hinduism, and I don't like any of this, and this is actually why I chose it. Bible is the living word. No, it cannot be the living word if you believe Sanatana Dharma is true. I'm sorry, you cannot make it the living word because the moment you do, it cancels out Sanatana Dharma. And neo-Hinduism is just something else. It's not Sanatana Dharma.
Bible is indeed the living word. The living word means it is alive. It's not that it was written for a certain audience at a certain time and it's historical and not relevant for now. That's not true. It is eternally relevant. It is not simple jargon. It is something that I have personally lived, and I am the testimony
But
for
you got it wrong
the
in the earlier video.
living nature of the Bible, whether it is the Old Testament or the New Testament. I have not tested the Old Testament that much, but the New Testament, of course, yes, it is.
How? What?
Now,
Explain.
I just want to tell you something that happened that made me to do this recording for you. I was debating on the commentaries by people on the Bible and how they used it, etc. But then there was something in my mind which said, no, you should read the Bible direct. And there was somebody was compelling me to do that, and then I immediately took my Bible, and here is what I found. Receiving good teaching from the pastors, teachers, and ministers is a blessing, but
Okay.
it's equally important to study scripture for
Yes.
yourself.
Yes, I
And
agree.
this is by a commentator who quotes Acts 17:10-11. I'm not going to read that, you can figure it out. Do you regularly set aside time each day to read the Word of God? If not, ask Him to help you have a hunger to read and study His Word.
What about the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Purana, Agamas? What about the Word of God from the Sanatana Dharma perspective? So you're saying Hindus should read the Word of God according to the Bible? Well, why not the Quran? Why not A Course in Miracles? Aren't those the Word of God too? Isn't the Book of Mormon the story of God in America? Why not those? No, come on. No, no, no. You're literally telling Hindus to read the book of the Bible. I don't tell a Christian to read the book of Satan. I don't tell a Buddhist to read the Quran.
And make every effort to do so daily. Just as
Why?
I was reading this, somebody sent me a message. Hail the Holy Ghost. Thank
Oh,
you.
wow. Yeah.
A text message from one of my students. That's not only just a proof that I experienced at this moment, but it has always been the case
No, that wasn't
that
proof of
the
anything.
Bible itself
You were thinking about doing a talk on the Bible and then someone emails you about the Bible. But why would you just, why would any, I don't believe this ever happened. So literally, Dr. Pillai, who spouts Shreem Brzee in Hinduism, got an email from someone that says, Praise the Holy Ghost. Thank you, bye. No, never happened. No one would do that. A Christian would go, Well, you need to turn to Jesus. They would go on and on and on. They wouldn't, no,
is a witness
whatever. Can't,
for its sacred
no,
nature,
can't,
for its
can't. Never
eternality.
happened. Ne-
So make it a habit, a daily routine to read the Bible and at least the New Testament. And then you will see that there will be a message for you more than the message that
no,
will be relevant to you.
no.
You will get an incredible blessings from Jesus.
Oh,
God bless.
oh my God.
Hallelujah.
No, no. I think I really wish there was a video that I wanted to share about that was like Jesus and Mother Mary and something. It didn't download right. Oh my God. No, I am done. I can't. I'm sorry. If you think Dr. Ply is spiritual, then please explain to me why a Hindu should read the Bible. Explain to me the gibberish that he said. Explain to me why he's not citing, while he goes from citing Hinduism, the law of attraction, which is New Age stuff, And law of attraction is not based on Hindu scripture. Trust me, I've studied this. I've been thinking about doing I drafted a book. It's very short, but I drafted a book on law of attraction, how it's not based on Hinduism. So I've spent time working on this. No, I'm sorry. He is fooling you. He is fooling you to get your money, and I am so upset and frustrated because I was so looking forward to reviewing stuff by him. I was really excited. It was like, oh my gosh, I've chanted Shreem Brzee. I kind of liked it. It was kind of interesting. I think the guy is probably really cool. I think he's very sincere. I was so looking forward to doing this video on him. Um, and now I'm like, no, this guy is really not right. I'm going to switch things here, go back to the thing, close the entrance. No, I am so now saying this guy is giving you mixed messages and saying good things. He's basically doing the Deepak Chopra approach of saying whatever is going to sell his courses. And I'm so upset because this isn't what I was hoping for. I really was hoping for more. And if you think I have misjudged him, I will collect. How many videos did I do? One, two, three, four, six. I did 7 videos. If you think I have misjudged him, I will find 7 more videos and do another eclipse of episodes. Send them an emails. I don't read a lot of comments, just don't have time. So send me an email with 7 clips. I will download them and watch them again if you think I am doing him an injustice. But I am so disappointed. And I know people are going to call me out. Well, you should just accept. But I'm sorry, I can't accept gibberish as true spirituality. As I said before, it makes no sense to me. If God created a rational world, and we like to say that the rational world, the logical world, is proof of God. That is an old argument. It's not foolproof. It's easily debunked. But that's the argument that people say. So we're just going to go with it. We're going to say it's a legitimate argument for now. But if that is our argument, does it then make sense to say God created a religion that is not logical? Why would you have a logical world and an illogical religion? No, we need to be logical. But he wasn't logical. And so I call this out. And yeah, I got it. I'm not happy-go-lucky, rainbows and stuff. I'm not sitting here saying just listen to the wind blow. But I really want people to have real spiritual experiences. That's why I do this. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste my time. I'd play my bass, which is sitting right there behind me, or I'd do some more writing or something. But I take time because I want people to have real experiences, and doing gibberish doesn't, and doing illogical things. I don't see it around me. I don't see it. So I'm the lone wolf here, and you can hate me all you want, but I dare you, send me 7 videos. Any size, any length. They can be long, short, and if it takes me 2 or 3 episodes to watch them all, I will do it. Send me 7 videos. Just give me the YouTube link. Send them an email. You don't even need to put anything in the YouTube link. Just put on my email is down below. Put for the topic on the email, Dr. Pillai. Send me 7 links on YouTube, and I will pull them off. I can't pull things off of any other site, but I'll pull them off and I will react to them. Whether they're 5 minutes or an hour long, I will react to all of them. Okay, that is my promise to you. If you think I have done him wrong. Now, I randomly chose 7 videos. There was actually, like I said, other videos I wanted to. And I didn't choose, I chose 2 of these because I thought they would be controversial, but the rest were just looking for a variety. So I've tried to give him the best, and I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed because it's just like, oh my God, this is heartbreaking because I had him so much higher. But you compare him to Mother Meera or Santosha Tantra, who we already discussed, and it's a whole different ballgame. I still say he's sincere. I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy. I do think he's helping people, but I think there's a Deepak Chopra thing going on here. It's building up something. Um, I can't. I'm very disappointed, but I'm willing to give him another try. But you give me videos. I won't do it. I'm gonna move on to other people now. Oh, I'm so disappointed. This video is gonna get lots of hate. I know, but I just yeah. Ah, that's enough. I gotta go do something with my day. Yeah, I just gotta go do something. I'm just frustrated. I'm disappointed and frustrated. Anyways, thank you for joining me on what was quite an adventure. Yeah, if you do like what I do, then please subscribe and come back for more videos. Jai Shri Krishna. Om Gan Ganapataya Namah.